Good Monday morning, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Monday. Starting off, what's going on right now throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Nice and dry, no rainfall, and we look good. Now, cloud cover wise, we'll get into cloud cover in just a moment, but already just looking outside, it's completely clouded up at my location already. Now, what's going on right now in terms of the entire U.S.? We do have some rainfall, some storm activity in Alabama, Florida. We have some severe weather going on in southern Michigan, even some more severe weather over in Wisconsin, and then even some rainfall over here in the west, inside of the Four Corners area, going up into the Rockies, and then up here inside of the panhandle of Washington State. Now, as we go in and take a look over at our cloud cover, overall, it does look like that we are mostly cloudy right now, no matter if you're from the upstate down towards the coastal areas. It looks like that it is going to be a mostly cloudy start to today. And then as we go into our cloud cover for the future, we push this over into 10 a.m., like moving all the way to 12 p.m. It looks like cloud cover is going to be the main thing. Now, as we move more and more into tonight, this is 11 o'clock p.m. right here. Look at how clear it starts to get, even as you move into around 12 a.m. So, could be pretty clear to go into tonight, though. Now, for our current temperatures, we're talking about 80 in Somerville, 80 in Charleston, 81 Beaufort, even 80 in Orangeburg, 80 in Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, and Conway, Sumter at 80. So we have a lot of areas at 80, 81 in Columbia, 80 Greenville, Gaffney, York, 81 Spartanburg, Clemson. So a lot of areas right now are at that 80 range. Now, in terms of the air quality, what's currently going on, well, we look to be mostly in the good category, but there's a lot of us that's in that moderate category, from the Tri-County over into like the Western Low Country, Western Columbia areas, like in Lexington County, down to Spartanburg, down I-26. Looks like a lot of us are included inside of that area of moderate activity. So if you are inside of the yellow areas for today, just make sure that you're paying attention to that air quality, making sure it doesn't get too bad for you. High temperatures for today, we're talking about 92 in Greenville, 92 Spartanburg, even 93 in Columbia, 93 Orangeburg in Moncks Corner, 91 in Charleston, 90 Georgetown, and 88 in Myrtle Beach, 93 in Hilton Head Island. And then in terms of your heat index values as you move over into today, we're talking about, all the way up to 105 to 110 degrees as a heat index as you go into the low country, maybe 100 in Kingstree, 100 in Columbia. And then you're seeing some 90s up in like the northern upstate going on over into the more PD areas as well. So we are seeing a couple of areas up into the hundreds, though, up into the upstate, like Anderson and Greenwood. Now, for our winds for today, we're talking about nice, calm conditions. Winds not going to be a main concern at all. And then if you take a look at those wind gusts, maybe up to around 10 to 15 miles per hour at the most, but that's it. Rainfall for the next 24 hours, you see maybe a hundredth of an inch to a tenth of an inch over near Dillon, Georgetown, over there near Aiken as well, maybe even a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch over in Winsboro, Columbia, Myrtle Beach. And somebody may even see a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. It's possible. And a lot of the areas that I just called out, obviously, those are not the only areas that's, has rainfall that's possible. Looking in the low country, I mean, look over in like near Barnwell, look over near Kingstree, Florence, we all these areas that aren't really highlighted that could, be a part of that risk of rainfall. And so we are watching, I am watching, for rainfall to happen throughout any of these areas, just due to the fact that it's another one of those days to where summer thunderstorms occur. And with summer thunderstorms, we can't really tell the exact track just based off of model guidance. It really just is what happens because summer storms, one of the hardest to predict in terms of where they are going to be at. SPC outlook, thunderstorms are expected today for a good amount of the state. If you're in the light green, you have a risk of thunderstorm activity. That's in like the Midlands, PD, Low Country, Grand Strand, all these areas. Now for fire weather, nothing here. Excessive rainfall, we're good there. Crazy score, we're at a 6. Nice, calm, pleasant conditions right now. No significant weather threats across the state. We're looking nice. It's just cloudy. That's the main reason why our score is kind of up. NHC, nothing in the tropics. We're looking good here as well. So we're going to go on real quick and talk about the models. Times at the bottom part of your screen. Make sure that you pay attention to that, as that is very important to do so. We start off going into 10, 11, 12 p.m. all the way to 1 p.m. And look at this. Rainfall activity does actually decide to kind of just stay over towards our west until we get to around 2 p.m. we start to see some thunderstorm activity going into like the Midlands, going into the low country areas, the Grand Strand areas, moving all the way to 4 p.m. We have more shower, more thunderstorm activity that kind of goes on throughout these areas. And then as you move all the way to 5 to 6 p.m., again, you're starting to see it start to shift more down towards the south, all the way into the low country. And then as you move over to 9, 10, and 11 p.m., it kind of goes away. So kind of that just that scattered shower and storm activity that occurred from the Midlands, during like the earlier afternoon, moving into the low country, going towards the evening, the PD areas and the Grand Strand areas, I should say, moving in as well around 4 to 5, 6 p.m. or so. So that's what we're looking at here in terms of rainfall activity for today. Again, not much, not much. Just going to be a regular scattered shower and storm day, like regular summertime. And that's pretty much all that I have to say here in terms of the actual guidance. How much rainfall could we potentially receive? I mean, according to the HRRR, some areas may receive up to an inch or two of rainfall today. I mean, it is possible. With these summer storms, you never know. And some areas definitely could receive maybe an inch, or more. And then if we go in and take a look over towards the southeastern U.S., we go towards the WPC, see what they say. Overall, kind of the same with what the National Weather Service was saying. Maybe around a tenth of an inch in areas like Myrtle Beach, Charleston, other areas up there near like Florence, tenth of an inch or so. So just this entire area over the next 24 hours, I'm receiving a good amount of rainfall. So that's what we're looking at here, and that's all I have to say. So make sure that you tune in tonight, 9 o'clock p.m. for your Monday evening forecast update. Also tune in tomorrow morning for your Tuesday morning forecast update. I don't know if I said 9 o'clock p.m. again, but I think I did. 8 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock p.m., not 9 o'clock p.m. If I did say 9 o'clock p.m., I meant to say 8 o'clock p.m. So 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, that's when we will be doing the live stream for tonight for the live forecast, and then tomorrow morning for our Tuesday morning forecast update. But that's all. Hit those two buttons before you leave if you're new.